Why we build. We build because we see potential, because we see problems, because we want to see what happens next. We build because we are changing the world, and that can't be taken lightly, because the opportunity to change things for the better comes with the risk of making it worse. We build because this last year was hard.
Facebook under fire. The FTC opening.
We saw what happens when things go wrong.
Privacy, security, data ownership.
And learned how important it is to get it right. We build because the most difficult problems require us to solve them together. Because together is where progress can happen. Where support is found. Where we understand, overthrow, and fall in love. Because together is where our world gets better. That's why we keep building. Because this journey is still 1% finished.
Welcome to F8. This has been an intense year. I can't believe we're only 4 months in. Before we get started, I just want to take a moment to say how much it means to us that you're all here with us today. Now, I know that it hasn't been easy being a developer these last couple of months, and that's probably an understatement. But what I can assure you is that we're hard at work making sure that people don't misuse this platform so you can all keep building things that people love. And today, I'm happy to share that we are reopening app reviews so you can all keep moving forward. Now, I'm looking out, and I see a lot of people that we've worked with for a long time here. And a lot of people who've traveled to be here from around the world, and a lot of you are building great tools that help people connect in new ways. And I just want to take a moment up front to thank each and every one of you for all that you're doing to help bring the world closer together. Thank you so much. Now, we're all here because we are optimistic about the future. We have real challenges to address, but we have to keep that sense of optimism too. What I've learned this year is that we need to take a broader view of our responsibility. It's not enough to just build powerful tools. We need to make sure that they're used for good, and we will. Now, we're idealistic, and we've always focused on all the good that connecting people can bring. And there's a lot of it. Just since the last F8, we've seen the Me Too movement and the March for Our Lives organized at least part on Facebook. We've seen people come together after Hurricane Harvey to raise more than $20 million for relief. And we've seen more than 80 million small businesses use these tools to grow and create jobs. But we've also seen people try to use these tools for harm. And that goes for Russia interfering in elections, for fake news, for hate speech, and for data privacy issues. So we're investing a lot to address these issues and keep people safe. And I'm going to go through all of that head on in just a minute, because I think it's important that everyone here knows exactly what we're doing to address them. But we also have a responsibility to move forward on everything else that our community expects from us too. To keep building services that help us connect in meaningful new ways as well. The hardest decision that I made this year wasn't to invest so much in safety and security. That decision was easy, right? I just went to the people who were running those teams and asked them how much we could possibly invest productively, and then I transferred all those people to them. The hard part was figuring out a way to move forward on everything else that we need to do too. Recently, I was having a conversation about what Facebook stands for. Or what is that basic idea that the world would lose if Facebook went away? When I was getting started with Facebook back in 2004, what struck me was you could go online at that time and find almost anything. Or you could look up any information, you could find any product, you could read news, you could download movies and music. You could find almost anything except for the thing that matters to us most: people. So I started building a service to do that, to put people first and at the center of our experience with technology, because our relationships are what matters most to us. That's how we find meaning and how we make sense of our place in the world. Now, we're not the only ones to build a communication service, but we are the ones who do it again and again in all of the different ways that people want to interact online. This is our DNA, and we have built and grown service after service that put people and our connections and our relationships at the center of the experience. And we've come a long way. But when I look out today, it still surprises me how little of the technology that our industry produces is designed to put people first. Our phones are still designed around apps. Now, that's not how we think. Now, I believe that we need to design technology to help bring people closer together. And I believe that that's not going to happen on its own. And so to do that, part of the solution, just part of it, is that one day, more of our technology is going to need to focus on people and our relationships. Now, there's no guarantee that we get this right. And this is hard stuff. We will make mistakes, and they will have consequences, and we will need to fix them. But what I can guarantee is that if we don't work on this, the world isn't moving in this direction by itself. So that is what we are all here to do. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to start by talking about keeping people safe, and then we're going to discuss all the things we're doing to keep building services to help us connect in meaningful new ways. And I want to start today by talking about protecting something that is really incredibly important to all of us, and that is the integrity of our elections. In 2016, we were slow to identify Russian interference. We expected more traditional cyber attacks like phishing and malware and hacking, and we identified those and notified the right people. But we didn't expect these coordinated information operations and large networks of fake accounts that we're now aware of. So I sat down with our teams after this, and we said, we will never be unprepared for this again. And since then, there have been important elections like the French presidential election, the German elections, the Alabama Senate special election last year, and we've been more prepared. We deployed new AI tools that successfully identified and took down tens of thousands of fake accounts before they could do anything. We've traced the fake account network back to Russia and taken down their network. We're doing more. We're requiring everyone running political and issue ads or running large pages to be verified with a government ID. We're making ads more transparent. So now you're going to be able to see who is running a political ad, who they're targeting, how much they're spending, and most importantly, what other messages they're sending to different people. That is a higher standard of transparency than TV ads, than print ads, or anything else you will find on the internet. By the end of this year, we will have 20,000 people working on security and content review at Facebook. And we've created an independent election research commission so independent academics can give us ideas and hold us accountable to make sure that these systems work. Now, this is an important election year. Not only the big US midterms that are coming up, but there are major elections around the world. In Mexico and Brazil, there are elections coming up in India and Pakistan and more, and we are focused on this. Beyond elections, we are focused on fighting fake news more broadly. And there are really three categories that we're focused on here. The first category is just spam. Right? These are people who aren't ideological. They just want to make money, hucking the most sensationalist junk that they can come up with to get you all to click on it. These are the people who in the 90s would have been sending you Viagra emails. And the playbook here is pretty simple. Right? It's to take down their ads on their sites so they can't make money, build tools to detect and reduce the distribution to remove their economic incentive, and then eventually they just go do something else to go make money. And we're starting to see this. The second category is fake accounts. And the idea here is less focused on looking at the content specifically and more focused on trying to find bad actors and getting them off the network. So some of this is nation states who are politically motivated, like we talked about before. But all of this we're fighting in the same way, with AI tools, with thousands of content reviewers, and verifying people who are running large pages and running sensitive ads. Now, the third category is real people who are just sharing provably false hoaxes. And the playbook here is building tools to get better at flagging content that is going viral, so fact checkers can look at it so we can show it less, and for the people who do see it, to make sure that they see related articles that are more accurate, that put this in context so people can understand what's really going on. So a lot of the work over the last year and a half has been bringing on more and more fact-checking partners all around the world in different countries who speak all of the different languages that we need to cover. So there's a lot more here to do. But these are the three basic categories, and we are making good progress on all of them. I also want to talk about data privacy. What happened with Cambridge Analytica was a major breach of trust. An app developer took data that people had shared with them and sold it. So we need to make sure that this never happens again. So we're taking a number of steps here. First, as you all know, we're restricting the data that developers will be able to request from people. Now, the good news here is that back in 2014, we already made a major change to how the platform works to prevent people from sharing a lot of their friends' information. So this specific situation could not happen again today. And since then, we've taken a lot more steps as well to restrict other data. But there's still more steps that we're taking to do this even further with groups and events and the data available through login to prevent future issues that might come up. Second, we need to make sure that we find any other bad apps that are out there. So we're currently in the process of investigating every single app that had access to a large amount of people's information before we made these big changes in 2014. And if we find anything suspicious, we're going to bring in independent auditors to do a full audit. And if any data was misused, then we'll ban that developer, and we will tell anyone whose data was affected. We've also started putting a tool in front of everyone that shows them all of the apps that they are using and lets them easily remove access to the ones that they no longer want to use. And with the GDPR coming up in Europe, we're asking everyone around the world, not just in Europe, to review your privacy controls. So to all the developers who are here, I know that the vast majority of you are focused on building good things. We need to take these steps to make sure that everyone on our platform is focused on building good things. And I believe that putting in these stronger protections now will give you more ability to keep building for the long term. Now, I also want to share one new thing that we're working on with data privacy. And we have a lot more updates like this coming. But this is an example of the kind of thing that we are working on. In your web browser, you today have a simple way to clear your cookies and clear your browsing history. Right? And the idea is that a lot of sites need this data to work. You need cookies. But you should have the ability to go in and clear your history at any point that you want. So we're working on a version of this for Facebook too. It's a simple control where you can clear your browsing history, what you've clicked on, the websites you visited, and so on. And we're going to call it Clear History. And we're starting with something that a lot of people have asked about recently, and that's the information that we get from websites and apps who are using Facebook's advertising and analytics tools. So you're going to be able to use this tool to see the information about the apps and websites you've interacted with. You'll be able to clear all this information from your account, and you'll even be able to turn it off, having this information stored with your account going forward. Now, to be clear, when you clear your cookies in a browser, it can make parts of your experience worse. Or you may have to sign back into dozens of websites. You may have to reconfigure some things. And the same is going to be true here. Or your Facebook won't be quite as good while it relearns your preferences. But after going through our systems, this is the kind of control that we think that people should have. So we're building this, and we're going to have a lot more like this to talk about soon. So overall, we're going to keep investing heavily in security and privacy. But security isn't a problem that you ever fully solve. Right? This is an arms race. And we're going to be working to stay ahead of our adversaries forever. So while we're doing this, we also have a responsibility to keep building services that bring people together in new ways. Now, if you've been to F8 before, you've seen this. This is our 10-year product roadmap, and it sets out all the different areas that we're working on and when we expect these ecosystems to be fully developed. And across all our products, our goal is to give everyone in the world the power to share anything they want with anyone, anywhere. To build stronger relationships, to break down geographic barriers, and to meet new people and interact in new ways. We have a lot to do here. So we are going to focus on we're going to keep building, even while we focus on keeping people safe. And we're going to talk about what we're going to be doing across the rest of the family of apps for the rest of today. So let's start with the Facebook app. Like all of you, we want to build something that's not just fun to use, but is good for people. So we've done a lot of research to understand what parts of the internet and social media are good for our well-being and which parts aren't. And the summary is that when you're using the internet to interact and to build relationships, then that is associated and correlated with all of the positive aspects of well-being that you'd expect. Better long-term health, better long-term happiness, feeling more connected, feeling less lonely, and so on. But when you're just using the internet to consume content passively, whether that's video or news, then that is not associated with these same benefits to well-being. And we've heard this feedback from a lot of people, too. People want Facebook to be about friends and interacting with people. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to talk about a few new ways that we're focused on taking the experience in this direction. We're rolling out something that we call Watch Party, which lets you watch video and chat with your friends. So let's say that your friend is testifying in Congress. For example. Now you're going to be able to bring your friends together, and you can laugh together, and you can cry together. Some of my friends actually did this. Let's not do that again anytime soon. People often tell us that groups are the most meaningful part of Facebook. You can feel like you belong in a community. You can meet new people who share your values. For some people, this might be a support group for new parents. For others, it might be about a disease you have. For others, it might be about finding people to come together and volunteer with. People want to be a part of meaningful communities. So today, we're launching a new Groups tab to make groups more central to the overall Facebook experience. So for me, I'm going to have all my groups in one place, my family group, my running group, my game group, my sheepdog appreciation groups, all in one place. Now, to help more people grow their communities, we're building a join group button and plugin that admins and developers can add to their websites and their emails. This is important because a lot of what we need to do to help more meaningful groups form is just give more tools to creators. Every great community has engaged leaders. So a lot of what we need to do is just give more people the tools to be community leaders. All right, now, talking about meaningful relationships, did you know that 1 in 3 marriages in the United States start online? I can't tell you how many times I'll be walking down the street in some city and a couple will come up to me and they'll say that they met on Facebook, and sometimes they have their kids with them, and they'll just point to them and they'll say thank you. And I have to say, these are some of the moments that I'm really proud of what we're doing, right? I know that we're making a positive difference in people's lives. But, the reality is, today, we haven't even built any features to help people find partners. There are 200 million people on Facebook who list themselves as single, so clearly there's something to do here. And if we're focused on helping people build meaningful relationships, then this is perhaps the most meaningful of all. So today, we are announcing a new set of features coming soon around dating. Now, this is going to be for building real long-term relationships, all right, not just hookups. It's going to be in the Facebook app, but it's totally optional. It's opt-in. If you want, you can make a dating profile. And I know a lot of you are going to have questions about this, so I want to be clear that we have designed this with privacy and safety in mind from the beginning. Your friends aren't going to see your profile. You're only going to be suggested people who are not your friends, who have opted into dating, who fit your preferences, although I can't promise that you're going to get email. It's a tough world. All right, Chris Cox will come up in a bit and walk you through this in more detail, because I want to make sure that you all see all the details here that we've built in around privacy and safety. But the bottom line is we want Facebook to be somewhere where you can start meaningful relationships. So we're excited to start rolling this out soon. Now, another way to help people connect in new ways is through commerce. Right, we started building Marketplace because we saw that one of the most popular uses for groups was building these buy and sell groups. So people would start groups like Bay Area Moms Buy and Sell, where people would be able to come together and ask for advice on all the gear they needed and meet people who are like them and can ultimately buy and sell things with people who they have something in common with. Now, Marketplace is now live in more than 70 countries. More than 800 million people around the world use it monthly, including more than 1 in 3 people on Facebook in the US. So this is starting to be a pretty big deal. And it's helping people earn more income and connect in a new way. All right, so this is Facebook. We are focused on helping people build relationships with friends and family, groups, and meeting and interacting with new people. Now let's talk about Instagram. So our focus here is helping people capture any moment they want and come together around shared interests. Some of the best stories that we hear are around ad hoc communities that spring up on Instagram. More than 200 million people use Explore on Instagram every day. Since we launched hashtag following in just last December, more than 100 million people now follow hashtags. So we want to make it even easier to find the communities for the things that you're interested in. So we're launching a completely new design for Explore that is going to organize the content around topic channels now. So now your Explorer is going to be even more focused on the things you're interested in. We're also focused on new ways that people are going to be able to use Instagram to communicate and build stronger relationships. So it turns out that a lot of people are using live video, basically just to hang out when you can't be physically together. Right? It's amazing how much of all of our use of these social tools is just to get as close to feeling like we're there with someone when we can't physically be there. So today, to make this easier, we're announcing video chat and Instagram. You're going to be able to just tap on a new camera icon right in the top of any direct thread that you have, and you're going to be able to video chat one-on-one or with groups. You're going to be able to minimize the video while you're chatting and using Instagram. And I think that this is going to be a really big deal, and people are really going to like this. We are also building more creative ways for people to share on Instagram. Last year at F8, we announced the AR camera effects platform, and today we are bringing it to Instagram. So now anyone is going to be able to build face filters and effects, and when you go to your camera, you're going to be able to see effects that are relevant to you and from the accounts that you follow. And if you're browsing stories and you see a cool effect, you'll always be able to try it on. So we're excited to get this in people's hands soon. All right. Now let's talk about WhatsApp. So here, our focus is on building new ways for people to connect privately with close friends and groups and businesses. Now, before we dive in here, I just want to say, yesterday, Jan Koum, the founder of WhatsApp, announced that he is is leaving us and moving on. And I just want to take a moment to thank Jan, because Jan has done an amazing job building WhatsApp. He has been a tireless advocate for privacy and encryption. A lot of you probably don't know this or remember this, but when WhatsApp joined us in 2014, we actually hadn't rolled out full end-to-end encryption yet. Jan and I talked about how to do this together, and one of the things that I'm most proud of is that we have built the largest fully encrypted communication network in the world, and this would not have happened without Jan, and I'm deeply grateful for the work that he has done. So please join me in thanking him. All right, now video calling is also one of the most popular features on WhatsApp already. You know, when I'm traveling and I can't be there to put my girls to bed at night, it's really nice to just be able to see their face and talk to them. And a lot of people agree. Right? Around the world, people are already making more than 2 billion minutes of voice and video calls on WhatsApp alone. And today, we're announcing that we're bringing group video calling to WhatsApp soon, too. All right, I want to talk about stories for a minute. So across our whole family, we've really gone all in on stories as a format for being able to quickly share video and photos throughout your day. And in each of the apps that we've launched it's evolved to be somewhat different, but it's grown quickly. Instagram was the first to really take off here. Facebook started a lot slower, but is now starting to grow quickly too and do well. But WhatsApp has been by far the biggest of these products. More than 450 million people use WhatsApp status every day, and it's growing really quickly. So the next phase for WhatsApp, beyond just communicating with your friends and family, is going to be helping people connect with businesses as well. And today, a lot of people don't want to call businesses, or you just want to be able to text. That's a really big shift in how we all communicate, and I think that's just going to be a really big deal here. So earlier this year, we launched WhatsApp Business to let small businesses create a presence on WhatsApp and give them some tools for messaging. And already in just a few short months, more than 3 million people are already using WhatsApp Business, and it's growing really quickly. So now, the next step is going to be giving large businesses tools to be on WhatsApp too, and we're working on this now. For Messenger, we are focused on building richer ways for people to connect privately with their friends and family and businesses too. When you're messaging, you really want a simple and fast experience. So we're taking this moment to completely redesign Messenger to focus on these ideas. And here's what the new Messenger is going to look like. It's clean, it's going to be fast, and David is going to come and talk about this in a bit more detail in just a little bit. Now, I mentioned earlier that we are bringing the AR camera effects platform to Instagram. Now, we're also bringing this to the Messenger platform as well. It's going to be a really fun way for people to use augmented reality to connect with their family and friends privately and in real time. And I don't know about you guys, but my daughters, when I call them when I'm traveling, they love these effects, right? Priscilla will be there, and Max will just be like, oh, look, Mama, Dad has a bunny. Or an ogre. All right, we're seeing good momentum for Messenger Business too, with more than 300,000 bots and businesses now using these tools, and people are sending more than 8 billion messages between businesses and people every month. All right, so that's Messenger. All right, so now let's go beyond our apps for a minute and talk about virtual reality and the future. So our goal here is to create this real feeling of presence, right? Like you're right there with someone, even if they're halfway around the world. And this idea of being physically or feeling like you're there with someone, even when you can't physically be there, is something we've talked about a lot today with video chat. But over the long term, virtual reality and eventually augmented reality are going to take this to a completely different level, where it's not just going to be about being able to see someone's face on a small screen. You're going to actually be able to feel like you're there with someone. So here's an example of of how compelling I think that this is going to be. Now, if you have some photos from your childhood home, we can now use computer vision to fill in the gaps with this pointillism effect and recreate the rooms of your childhood home where you grew up. So you're going to be able to go into VR with your family and visit and feel like you were right there. It feels like you were in a dream. It is wild. So this work of mapping out immersive spaces is just another important step on the path to creating this real feeling of presence. Now, in addition to software, we're all building hardware. So we've been preparing Oculus Go for launch. And the big news I have to share today is Oculus Go is shipping today. It starts at $199. It is the first really affordable standalone virtual reality headset. It's launching with more than 1,000 apps, and it has the highest quality lenses and optics that we have ever built into a VR device. Oculus Go is going to be, it's the easiest way to get into VR. And we think that this is going to be how a lot of people experience virtual reality and virtual presence for the first time. And to make sure that all of you get to experience this too, everyone at F8 is getting a free Oculus Go to take home. We're excited about that too. All right. All right. So this is how we are thinking about our responsibility. To keep people safe and also to keep building. We're here to build things that bring people together and to put people in our relationships at the center of our experience with technology where they belong. Because for all the challenges that we face today, the vast majority of what happens on these services is people getting closer to the people they care about, even when time or distance get in the way. And we can help more people do this. Whether it's reaching out to a friend that you lost touch with, or finding a group to belong to, or just sending a video to your sister of your kids. The best part of what you do isn't on Facebook. It's the relationships you build and what you can go do together. That is what this is all about. So if you believe, like I do, that giving people a voice is important, that building relationships is important, that creating a sense of community is important, and that doing the hard work of trying to bring the world closer together is important, then I say this: we will keep building. We need to keep this idea alive, and that is what we are all here at F8 to do together. So yes, this is an important moment. We need to do more to keep people safe, and we will. But we also need to keep building and bringing the world closer together. Thank you for coming out today. Thank you for everything you're doing to bring people together. Have a great F8.
All right, let's talk about dating. Actually, one of the great ironies for me is that when a lot of us joined the very first version of the service in 2004, back when it was just a handful of college students, we were convinced that dating would be the next feature Facebook was going to add. After all the college kids were finally in one place. So it turns out you were right, just 14 years too early. So I first wrapped my head around what Facebook was going to be in 2005 when I went into the early office to interview for a job as an engineer. This is 156 University Avenue in High Street. The founders and a handful of engineers had moved out there to try and find some more folks to join their team. And I wasn't sure I wanted to work there, but I really wanted to meet Mark. So I decided I'd go in there and interview for a job. And I remember the office when I got inside was very frenetic energy. It was sort of like a plane ascending to new altitudes with the engine and the wings shaking, and here you had this small team of engineers trying to keep everything running. And I liked that. Anyway, Mark wasn't there that day. Justin Timberlake was not there either. But instead I met Dustin, Facebook's co-founder, Dustin Moskovitz, our head of engineering. And I immediately liked him. He was humble, he was smart, and he took a moment out of his busy day, keeping this engineering team running, to take me into a corner office and begin to explain to me where they were going. And he drew for me a picture on a whiteboard of a graph. And I thought he was going to give me like the traveling salesman problem, and I was going to write code. But instead, he starts talking about this idea that the way they see Facebook is the seed of a collaboratively created directory of people. And it's authentic, it's up to date, it's interconnected. So like Wikipedia, you can explore people and things through their relationships with each other. Each person is responsible for their own representation. And we think it could grow beyond college. And I found that idea very simple and elegant, and it began to get the gears turning for me. Maybe I should check this place out. And that was really the founding idea of the company for years. Each year, the company would identify a set of barriers to take down to allow more folks to use the service. So in 2005, high school. In 2006, other English speakers. In 2007, a crowdsourced translation tool. Going up to 2017, how do we make this thing work on a Nokia C3 on a 2G network in Delhi at night? An adversarial networking condition. And each time we've launched in a new country or a new place, we've learned that Facebook wants to be something different. In Indonesia, we learned Facebook wanted to be a marketplace. In Thailand, we learned about the importance of helping small entrepreneurs scale businesses and reach new people. In Egypt, we learned about Facebook as a political tool. The other thing we've learned as the network has scaled is that people want specialization in the tools that they use for different groups. So for the closest people to us, our family, we want messaging. Your parents, your kids, your siblings, your significant other. For me, this is a message thread with lots of baby photos and the occasional spat. The same is true for your close friends, the 6 or 7 people that you rely upon on your worst day, the people you're constantly in touch with. The average person on our messaging services sends 80% of their messages to 5 people. And a lot of those messages are just to one person, their best friend or significant other. So messaging is going to do a lot for us, but the most important thing to focus on is how it keeps us connected with the people who matter to us most. So David and Mubarak are going to be up here to talk about that a bit more. Going further out, all of our friends is really what Facebook and Instagram do most well, is helping us stay connected with hundreds of people. Now on Facebook last year, we began to hear that the influx of video and public media and content into the system was drowning out what people wanted the most, which was not to miss things from friends. And that's why we announced a big ranking change in January, which will help people make sure that they don't miss stories from friends. And from the publishers they do see, we'll prioritize publishers that are trusted, that are informative, that are local, and that are inspiring conversations between people. The emerging research on well-being and Facebook tells us that Facebook is better when it's about conversations, not just passing time, which is what we're committed to. And then at the story level, we've gone through each component to understand how we can inspire better conversation. So again, you'll see more things from friends and more things from publishers that are trusted, informative, and local. When people see articles from publishers they don't recognize, we're making it a lot easier for them to go in there and understand where the story is coming from. When was the publisher founded? Where are they based? What are some of the other pieces they've written recently? What are some pieces from other trusted sources on that same topic? And how has the article traveled through Facebook? We hope this helps people make better judgments and determinations about what they can trust. We're also looking at improving the quality of public conversations. It turns out good old-fashioned upvoting and downvoting look like they close the gap between comments that invoke a lot of emotion but may not be civil. So we're going to be rolling this out as quickly as we can to improve the quality of the conversations that are happening among lots of people on the platform. Now, thanks. So the other big trend that Mark talked about is the format of right now. It's pull, not push. It goes away. And it's the aspect ratio of the phone, so it feels like you're in the hand of the viewer. We've noticed that the growth here is just really insane. Here you see two trends. The first is the increase in sharing of any visual media, and then the second is that the stories format is on a path to surpass feeds as the primary where people share stuff with their friends sometime next year. On Facebook, we're focused on the unique things Facebook does well in this format. So groups. How about a group of parents whose kids are playing soccer together have a collaborative story where they can have their own video diary of the game? Events, making sure that friends at a concert can have a collaborative format for sharing that experience together. Video clipping is something people love to do on Facebook, so we're going to make it easy for people to grab the moment or the frames that they love the most and then add their own commentary so that it's personal. Things like profile photos, people should be able to create nice stories about them, and then birthdays. Instead of all of us writing on your wall to wish you a happy birthday, how about we pull together over the course of the day a photo and video reel, which you then receive as a package at the end saying happy birthday. Again, focusing on the unique strengths of the Facebook platform when applied to this format. The other thing we're seeing is a huge amount of stories coming from the camera roll, screenshots, especially of music. And this is a rather tedious process to create these, and then when you're seeing them, it's kind of annoying to go find the song. And that's why we're so excited today to announce a third-party stories integration, so that any app developer can immediately share to their stories on Facebook or Instagram, the platform of their choice. So it'll work like this. You're on Spotify. You're listening to your favorite song. You decide you want to tell your friends about it. You choose Instagram or Facebook, the platform of your choice. You can right there in line add some art, make it look the way you feel. And then on the consumption side, when you see it, you can drop right in there, and then there's a deep link into the song, so you can start listening right away. I can see myself doing this with an entire mix, with a run from my favorite running app, from GoPro, videos, anything that you love to do, making it easy to quickly share a moment from that experience that's relevant out to other people. So this is launching in beta starting today, and we're excited to see what you all build. OK, so that's what we're doing to help people share with friends. Groups, like Mark talked about, is the next layer out, where some really interesting stuff is happening on the platform today. So Groups has been around for a while, but its growth is outpacing the growth of Facebook overall. Today, 1.4 billion people are using Groups every month. And about 200 million or so we think are super meaningful groups. This is Lola Omalola. Is she over here? Lola! Lola is a Chicago-based journalist, originally from Nigeria, who started Females in Nigeria, a group for women to tell stories about issues related to them. People are cheering for you, Lola. And we've learned that the leaders are the reason that these meaningful large groups happen. Your story, as you told me, was very common, which was you started this group, added a few friends, woke up the next day, and it was doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling. And we know that you have a full-time job outside of this, and managing a group with 1 million people in it is a lot of work. This is a group that has meetups in cities all around the world. They're super close friends now. Their kids play together. They have merchandise. Lola is a major hero to them. And we've started asking what we can do to help folks like this succeed on our platform. Thank you, Lola. So we've started learning from the top group admins on the platform, what can we do to make this easier, and how do we build products that let the next generation of leaders start to have groups that cater to what they want. Dr. Hala Sabri is up here. She founded the Physicians Moms Group. This is a group for new mothers in the US who are also doctors. And according to her, 1 in 4 women in the US who meet that criteria are in this group. It's probably the world's best medical advice for parents. This group full of doctors. And so we've continued to learn what tools these folks need to have groups that are super healthy and do really, really well. And that's really been the roadmap for groups over the past year, is tools that focus on making the life easier of the people leading them, and also just make the group's conversation a lot more rich. Like Mark mentioned, we're also going to make it easier for folks to use groups on the platform by rolling out a Groups tab later this month. So if you use groups a lot, this will make it easy for you to check up on them. It will also make it easier for you to discover new groups, related especially to niche interests. I'm an owner of a pit bull. Anybody who owns a pit bull knows that they're incredibly sweet, even though they have a bad rap. And so I'm looking forward to using this to connect with more folks who have the same experience and share tips. We're also building features to make it easier for groups to do things together, like watch video. Watch Party is something we just announced, and we've been rolling out gradually. This is just the experience of watching the same frame of the same video at the same time with thousands of people all around the world. It takes advantage of the same technology we use to build Live, which is really low latency experience that creates that feeling of presence that Mark talked about. Today, we're showing a sneak preview of a new feature called Live Commentating, which will let the group leader or the video creator or anybody in the audience put their face into the screen and narrate whatever it is that they want to say about what's being watched. This is just about making the experience of watching the video there more social. So that's a little bit about groups. We've also started looking at, further out than that, what are the moments on the platform where people are finding a friend of a friend or stranger and having something important or meaningful happen? And what can we do to build more tools for that? Which is what gets us to dating. So this is Rahman and Priya. Like Mark said, they were one of many couples who's met him and us over the years to tell us the most important thing that ever happened to me on Facebook was meeting my partner. So this is a couple who met and then got engaged, got married, and had kids. So Mark posted a photo of them in 2016, and the comment thread on it was overwhelming. We basically had thousands of responses of people who had met on the platform, sharing their personal story and photograph. And this is what got the gears turning for us, that we should probably pay closer attention to how we could build a service that helped folks who want to do this do so in a way that was opt-in, in a way that was safe, a way that took advantage of the unique properties of the platform, and didn't get in the way of everybody who wasn't interested in dating. And so that's what we've designed. So this is Jennifer. She's just moved to Chicago. She's interested in dating. She likes running and college football. So this is her Facebook profile. She would see in the upper right a place she can tap to go to Dating Home. The first thing she would do here is set up a dating profile. This is just her first name. It is not visible to her friends. It's only visible to folks using the dating service, and it doesn't show up in Newsfeed or anywhere else. Once she's done that, she can go browse events and groups. This will let her see things in the city and groups related to her interests. Once she does that, and we like this, by the way, because it mirrors the way people actually date, which is usually at events and in institutions that they're connected through. So let's say she sees an event she wants to go to. She can go and unlock the event. So unlocking the event will mean she shares her dating profile with other people who are going to the event, are using the dating service, and have also unlocked it. Then she can browse people who are there. Say she wants to talk to Jay. She'll start a conversation with a photo from his profile. This will encourage, we hope, a more meaningful interaction. Then if he wants to respond, they'll do so in a private messaging inbox connected to the profile. This is text only as a safety measure. And it's not connected to Messenger or WhatsApp because folks wanted this to be in a separate space and not commingled with the rest of their inbox. So we hope that this will help more folks meet and hopefully find partners. We're excited to share a lot more on this over the next few months. Okay, on a more serious note, we've also seen people use Facebook to come together in a moment of crisis or during a disaster. We know that 160 million people each year are affected by a natural disaster, and Facebook is a place that people go to tell their friends and family they're okay, and also ask for help and coordinate relief. So that's why we built Safety Check. Safety Check is a tool that lets people do just those things. And we've recently rolled out new functionality so that businesses and NGOs can offer services to people in need, like free rides, food, water, shelter, pet supplies, whatever it is that folks need can be matched by people who want to help. This has been activated over 1,000 times and notified more than 3 billion people that their friends and family are okay. Today we're announcing a new feature here, which is the ability for people to provide first-person accounts on the ground to folks who are in the middle of that place or who want to look in and figure out how they can help. This will help with things like traffic, road blockages, floods, fires, etc. The other area we've seen a lot of really interesting emergent behavior was in India around blood donations. Now, India is one of many countries where there are blood shortages. And people would, when a friend needed blood, ask the network of friends and family around them for help. So we thought about and we worked with blood banks, clinics locally to figure out how we could help make this more structured and more efficient. So we've built already the ability for folks to register as a blood donor. There are 8 million people registered in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, making it the largest online blood matching service. Today, we're announcing a new zone, which is a hub for all of this, so that it's more easy for clinics, blood banks, and donors to find one another, whether it's in a time of need or whether it's during a moment where somebody wants to give blood. This is the kind of thing we're interested in rolling out more broadly as we continue to build functionality into the service. So these are just some of the ways we're looking at helping people finding these interesting moments where they meet somebody or something important happens, and we can build a tool to help make it work. And that's really what this conference is all about. Not putting technology to work in the service of people and our relationships with each other. I'm really excited you're all here today for F8. We're here to build things, so let's have an amazing conference. Thanks, everybody. You're going to hear from Jyoti, Shilpa, and Tamar to talk a little bit about Instagram. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Shilpa Sarkar.
I'm Tamar Shapiro.
And I'm Jyoti Sood. Instagram is the best place to share, connect, and explore with the people and interests that matter most to you. And we're all super excited to be here today to get to show some of the cool new products that we've been working on. Every day, hundreds of millions of people connect through stories on Instagram. But we're always looking for ways to improve the format, to make it easier to share any moment, even when nothing's going on. Like when I'm bored and I just want to share my favorite song or playlist. Thanks to the Spotify integration Chris talked about, now I can share a sticker of whatever I'm listening to directly to Instagram from my Spotify app. And in addition to being able to easily share from Spotify, as you can see here, now anyone can also share their latest GoPro footage directly to IG as well. Our team also really cares about building creative tools that help people uniquely share on Instagram. Whether it's the new focus format that lets you up your selfie game, or Boomerang, which turns the mundane into something fun. Or even AR face filters that help people feel more comfortable sharing and make their friends laugh. But we've just barely scratched the surface of what's possible with augmented reality. Last year, Facebook announced the ability for developers to create their own effects for the camera. And today, we're excited to bring that ability to Instagram as a closed beta. Here's how it'll be different on Instagram. The effects our partners design will only show up in the camera of their followers, so that the effects really feel authentic and genuine to the user. But non-followers will also have a way to find and use the effects. Let's say teen creator Liza Koshy creates a funny new filter. If I follow Liza, I'll automatically see the filter in my camera. But if I don't follow her, I can also try on the filter from any of my friends' stories who posted with it, or any of the direct messages that they sent using it. This sharing model gives third parties a new channel to interact with their followers and reach new ones. And it gives users a set of new creative tools of expression and interaction that can be tied to real-world moments on Instagram, like being able to dunk on any of your friends during the playoffs or the finals, courtesy of the NBA. No matter what the occasion, we're really excited to see what you'll do. And one of our top AR developers is actually here today to show us what he's been working on. So let's bring him out. GIFPalm has 8 million followers on Instagram and is the most followed pet in the app. Hi, GIFPalm. Thanks for coming to F8. Can you show us what you've been up to? Wow, you've been really, really busy. Can you show us the filter that you've been designing? Oh, it's so cute. Look at that. Now, when you don't have GIFPalm in real life for your selfie, you have his filter with all his cuteness in it that he's designed for us. Thanks, GIFPalm. Nice work. We're really excited to be working with partners like GIFPalm to bring more fun and interactive tools into the camera. And we think some of the most interactive experiences can actually happen in real time. So I'll hand it over to Shilpa to talk about video chat.
Thanks, Jyoti, and thanks, GIFPalm. Real-time video is one of the best ways to share an experience with your friends. That's why a little over a year ago, we launched Instagram Live. Since then, we've seen over 100 million people use live video every day. However, we've heard from our community a desire to use this technology to talk privately with their closest friends. And that's why today I'm really excited to announce Video Chat, a new way to connect on Instagram Direct when you can't be together. This is me in high school. Now, I don't know about you all, but when I was in high school, I would instant message my friends or talk to them on the landline phone. This meant that when my best friend didn't get into her dream school, I couldn't read her facial expression to figure out what kind of support she really needed. And since my brilliant sarcasm is a little difficult to convey over text, most of my jokes fell flat when instant messaging with my crush. Video chat is incredible because it deepens friendships and it prevents things from being lost in textlation. Often, you need a real facial expression or a laugh to really convey an emotion. This is particularly exciting for Instagram because your friends are already on the platform. You don't need to download a separate app or even ask for a phone number if you want to use it. In fact, let me show you how easy it is. So here I am in Instagram. First, I'll swipe over to Direct because that's where I already have conversations with my closest friends. Now, let's say it's Saturday and I'm trying to figure out where we should go to brunch. I tap this button to start a video chat, and soon we're all able to hang out together. Now, let's pretend I'm looking for some inspiration for where we should go. I tap this button, and soon the video player is minimized. I swipe on over to Feed, and at this point, people can still see and hear me, but don't worry, they can't see my screen. Now, once I find somewhere I want to go, I hit Share, and then I send it back to the thread so my friends can give their input. So whether you're one-on-one or in a group, we think video chat will be a powerful and seamless way to connect on Instagram. We're currently testing video chat and look forward to rolling it out soon in the coming weeks. Now I'll hand it over to Tamar to talk about how we're making Explore an even better place to discover interests you love on Instagram.
Thanks, Shilpa. In addition to discovery, in addition to sharing, people come to Instagram every day to discover the world around them and connect with the people and the things that they love. Skateboarding fans love seeing the latest tricks that are trending. Nail art aficionados are looking for fresh ways to express themselves. And slime enthusiasts all agree they find slime oddly satisfying. So what do these people have in common? They've found communities on Instagram that share their curiosity, interest, or passion. But navigating the wide world of interest can be overwhelming. So we started working to help people discover and connect with the world around them. We launched the ability to follow hashtags back in December. And since then, we've seen more than 100 million people around the world follow hashtags. And one thing we've learned is just how many different hashtags and interests are out there. I happen to follow hashtag slime, and I make it every weekend with my kids. So how did I become slime obsessed? Well, I found it on the Explore page. Explore is core to discovery on Instagram. Millions of people use Explore to get inspired and find awesome content. And today, we're excited to give you a sneak peek of the new Explore. Now Explore is organized into topic channels based on your personal interests and tastes. You can easily browse across different topics and dive deeper when you want to see more. You have more control over the content you're seeing, so it's easier to find exactly what you're looking for. Explore has always been powered by artificial intelligence. In order to deliver a cutting-edge experience, we're augmenting our AI with content classification and curation signals from our community. Our goal is to provide an even more personalized and easy-to-use experience that is tailored just for you. But as we work to make it easier to share, connect, and explore across Instagram, it's equally important that it remains a safe and supportive space. That's why last year we launched a comment filter that automatically hides offensive comments. But that was just step one. Today, we're taking our comment filtering technology even further by launching a bullying filter that hides language intended to harass or upset people. This type of language is complicated to identify, so we've advanced our machine learning systems to make it possible. So much of the Instagram experience is about how your connections and community can support you. We're committed to getting this right, and we're excited for what's to come. I'll now hand it off to Mubarak Imam to talk about WhatsApp.
Good morning. 5 years ago, my husband asked me if I could work anywhere for free, where would I work? My answer was simple: WhatsApp. I'd been using it since March 2009, just 2 weeks after the app launched. I was a huge fan and still am. And that is because WhatsApp helps us deepen our personal relationships with friends and family, no matter the distance. It fulfills a fundamental human need to communicate. It is the only way that my family, which is split up across 4 continents, 6 different countries, and 8 cities, stays up to date on each other's lives. This is the closest thing that we have to sitting around my grandmother's dining table every night in Lahore, Pakistan. For 9 years, we've helped families, friends, and loved ones communicate by focusing on 3 core principles: simplicity, reliability, and privacy. So let's talk about simplicity. We prioritize quality over an abundance of new features. And this means that we say no to things that add unnecessary complexity to the app. Second, reliability. WhatsApp has a data-light design that works well on the lowest-end smartphones, no matter where you are in the world. This matters on ordinary days, when you're exchanging messages with your loved ones. But it really matters on exceptional days too, such as after last year's earthquake in Mexico City, when WhatsApp was one of the only messaging services that worked reliably in the first few crucial hours to help find people that were still trapped. Lastly, privacy and security are really in our DNA at WhatsApp. We collect very little information about our users. And since some of your most personal moments are shared on WhatsApp, a few years ago, we built end-to-end encryption by default into our app. It means that when you exchange messages with your loved ones or call your friends, nobody, not even WhatsApp, can read your messages or listen to your calls. With 65 billion messages that are sent every single day on WhatsApp, as Mark mentioned, WhatsApp is the world's largest implementation of end-to-end encryption. We also really believe that your messages should be in your hands. That's why WhatsApp does not store your messages on our servers once we deliver them. Our features are also designed with privacy and security in mind. So take, for example, Live Location, which we launched last year. It lets you share your location with whoever you choose privately. Again, this is end-to-end encrypted, which means nobody, not even WhatsApp, knows your location. Imagine how this matters in parts of the world where a woman who might be stuck in the traffic in Karachi after the monsoons, or a university student in Caracas, can let their parents know that they've arrived home safely. What is really exciting is that every single day, we're working hard on introducing new ways for people to stay connected around the globe. Last year, we launched WhatsApp Status. This is our Stories feature, so you can share the fleeting memories that you have throughout your day, whether it's a photo, a GIF, a message, just with any or all of your contacts. And as Mark mentioned, even though it is pretty new, WhatsApp Status is by far the biggest Stories product in the world, with over 450 million daily users. Thank you. Voice and video calling have also become immensely popular on WhatsApp, and our engineers work really hard to make sure that you have clear video and voice quality everywhere around the world. And today, people make over 2 billion minutes of voice and video calls every day on WhatsApp. And now, we're excited to share that group calling is also coming to WhatsApp in the coming months ahead, where you can get together with friends and family regardless of where you are in the world. And in the next few, thank you. And in the next few months, we're also bringing stickers to WhatsApp, so people can express themselves with even more nuance. And what's exciting about this is that this includes support for third-party sticker packs created by developers like you, so you can help create localized stickers for people around the world to use. Thank you. Groups are also really an essential part of WhatsApp. And we've recently added new features that give users even more control. Groups are intended for intimate conversations with family, friends, personal communities, and organizations. And so today I'd like to share 2 stories with you that illustrate that. For example, in India, groups are being used to help and support farmers. Farmers sometimes endure really brutal working conditions, and many are in debt because of unpredictable climates. Unfortunately, this drives many farmers to contemplate and potentially attempt suicide. One farmer named Gajnan Patod in Maharashtra had attempted suicide because he saw no way to get out of debt. His story was shared in a WhatsApp group created by a nonprofit called Yuvrashtra that supports distressed farmers and their communities. The group brought together government officials, agriculture experts, and legal advisors, along with farmers for the first time, who helped him pay off his debt, repair his irrigation system, and build a well, his lifelong dream. And today, Yuvrashtra has more than 22 such WhatsApp groups with over 2,000 farmers. Universities are also using WhatsApp as a tool for students to communicate from enrollment all the way to graduation. At the Universidade de São Paulo, Professor Paulo Nassar uses a support system on WhatsApp for his students by encouraging them to share information, discuss class assignments, and continue conversations, all in a safe and private environment on WhatsApp. It's not only the people that use our products, but millions of businesses are also using WhatsApp to connect with customers, from clothing companies in Europe to bakeries in Brazil. And now we're bringing 2 products to make these connections even more seamless for you. This year, we launched WhatsApp Business. It's a new Android app for small businesses, which has more than 3 million people using it. And we're also testing another large solution for big businesses. The goal is for businesses to have a presence on WhatsApp for the first time, as well as additional features that make it possible to manage a really large volume of messages. This includes away messages, quick replies, labels, and many other features to come. So I want to share 2 stories with you about how businesses are using this. Take, for example, in Madrid, Spain, where Marta Gonzalez turned her passion for ceramics into a business by teaching classes in her studio and selling her own designs. For her business called Marta Ceramica, WhatsApp has become the tool that she relies on every single day to run her business and coordinate her classes, so that she has more time to be creative as an artist and focus on her students. Her favorite feature is voice messages, because she can send personalized greetings and communicate with people even when her hands are messy and dirty in the studio. Another business called SalesStock in Indonesia is piloting our WhatsApp product for larger companies. They're an online clothing company that uses WhatsApp to provide delivery rates and personalized recommendations for customers in the app. And nonprofits are benefiting from this too. I want to share the story of Prikel Foundation, a South African nonprofit that is piloting a program called Mom Connect. It uses WhatsApp to provide new mothers with critical pre- and postnatal care. And what is truly remarkable is that communication between mothers and clinics has gone up by over 3 times since they switched to WhatsApp. This is really the power of WhatsApp. The stories of people, organizations, and businesses around the world that use WhatsApp in ways in which we never imagined really inspire our work every single day at WhatsApp. And from all of us that work on WhatsApp, it is an honor and deep privilege to serve you. And next, here to share with you exciting developments from Messenger, please welcome David Marcus.
Good morning. I hope you're having a great F8 so far. Yeah? All right, awesome. We now have over 200,000 developers building for the Messenger platform. So I want to start by thanking all of you for your understanding as we had to pause approving new experiences on the platform in the last few weeks. 7 years ago, I was sitting in this audience with my startup building for the Facebook platform. So I know how painful and stressful those weeks can feel, and I just wanted you to know that we're super, super thankful and grateful for your understanding as we went through this process. The good news, as Mark shared with you earlier, is that we're now fully open for business again. And Ime will share more details about that in his section right after me. In the last year, we've been really, really busy making Messenger better for all of you. Starting with groups, we've added AR capabilities for group video chat. We've added admin support, join by link, mentions, and reactions to the main group products. Games have also become a lot bigger on the platform, with now over 500 titles built by 200 game developers who are now monetizing those games really well. And speaking of monetization and payments, we've made a lot of progress on payments too, by launching P2P payments, the same experience that you have here in the US, in France, and in the UK. Messenger Lite is now also available to more people in more countries, and now supports video calling, which was the #1 requested feature from people using the product. And talking about the #1 requested feature, this has been one of mine for a very, very long time. It seems like a small thing, but it's a really big deal. The ability for you to now send 4K photos, 360-degree photos, and HD videos super fast to all of your friends. This really makes Messenger one of the best ways to share rich media with anyone you want. Now, Messenger Kids has also found more and more product market fit with families all over the country. I use it with my youngest daughter when I'm traveling, and she loves all of the face filters and effects, and I know that I can be in control of who she can communicate with at all times, which is great. On the platform side of things, we've been continuing to invest a ton in the last year, as you all know. But one of the capabilities that I really, really think is going to make a big difference is our customer chat plugin. Our customer chat plugin enables you to embed Messenger on your own website, and for the very first time, continue chatting with your customers long after they've left your website, which is great for both customer service, but also for marketing, because you can continue retargeting customers after they've asked you for a question on a product. Last year, when I was here, 1 year after opening the platform, I shared with you that we had over 100,000 live experiences on the platform. And this year, I'm happy to update that number to over 300,000. But more importantly, what we've seen is that the engagement of people and businesses on Messenger is growing at a really rapid and accelerating rate. Last year, we had 2 billion messages exchanged between people and businesses every month. And this number in 1 year has quadrupled to over 8 billion messages every month. This shows that the platform is finding product market fit, has a ton of momentum, and is driving success for businesses over the world. But we haven't done this by ourselves. We partnered with awesome developers, solution providers, advertisers, and marketers all over the world. And it's been amazing to watch all of you find product market fit, get success, grow your businesses this year. So let's hear from a few of you now.
In a startup, you have to do everything yourself. So it was time to build it. My name is Dmitry, and my product is Edwin.
My name is Bryn Blanks, and I work at Direct Relief.
My name is Jimmy, and my company is Manal.
My name is Afsha Abbas, and my company is called Fuchsia Shoes.
We're still a small business, and to be able to reach as many people as possible, we were going to need a way to scale those interactions. So it was really about what tools can we use, and Messenger was an obvious choice.
We started building Edwin, and Messenger was evolving with us.
During Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, we got a number of messages from individuals who either were affected by the storm or they were there to help with their response efforts.
The more that we can get the bot to take care of the functional stuff, like shipping notifications, the more of those great conversations we can have.
Instead of the customers waiting for a day or two, our bot will address those questions and help them pick a shoe immediately.
For the first time ever, Messenger gives Direct Relief the potential to expand our work to a place that it's never been before.
The open rates of emails are around 16%, whereas if we send a more personalized message through Messenger bots, the open rates that we are seeing is around 90%.
One of the things we noticed is that people who come through Messenger spend 20% more than other people.
Messenger cut a lot of costs and time and money for us, and we invested all the spare time into the product. And I think that's why we are so successful at this point.
These are truly awesome success stories. But it's not only about small businesses and startups. It's also your favorite brands from all over the world that have invested in Messenger and have found great results and success. From Qantas to TD Ameritrade that have redefined customer service on Messenger, to Comcast and T-Mobile who are really engaging their customers in a brand new way. So I want to turn the page now. Enough about the past, let's look to the future. Last year, I was here, and for the very first time, we talked about M suggestions. And since then, we've added a lot of capabilities for M suggestions. It learned new languages, it can suggest more things. But this year, we're really excited to announce M translations. For the very first time, you're going to have the ability to talk to almost anyone you want in the world at an unprecedented scale, even if you don't speak the same language. And this will power connections that weren't possible before in all kinds of different circumstances, and definitely make the world a lot smaller. Yeah. As far as the platform is concerned, we're continuing to invest, and as Mark highlighted before, we're bringing AR to the Messenger platform. And what this means is that you'll be able to build native AR experiences combined with your bot, creating the very first conversational AR experiences. And you can see some of the examples around me right now. This is going to be really powerful because you'll still have the conversation behind those effects. And we've been very lucky to work with amazing brands like Nike, Asus, Kia, and Sephora to build those amazing experiences on our platform. I now want to zoom in on the Nike experience because my son is a total sneakerhead, and he converted me into one. So having the ability to announce the first ever shoe drop on Messenger on stage in front of you is awesome in more ways than you know. So let's take a look. First, you go to the Nike sneakers experience, and provided you have the right secret emoji code, you can unlock a bubble that then loads up the AR effects that Nike has built right into our native camera. The awesome part with this is that now you're in the room you're sitting in, and you have this awesome podium that shows up, and a brand new pair of Kyries just drops in front of you, literally. And you can actually walk to the shoe, get up close and personal with it, take photos and videos, and share them with your friends, ask them for their opinions. And when you're done with it and you close the camera, you're back into the experience where you can buy the shoe right then and there. The awesome part with this is now because you're in a thread in Messenger, if you're a real sneakerhead, you can ask for all the notifications for the next shoe drops, and those are really important notifications if you like sneakers. I really can't wait to see what you guys are going to build with this, because I think that creative companies and marketing agencies will have a blast creating those new experiences on our platform. Now, I really want to thank all of you on behalf of the whole Messenger team, because obviously, we wouldn't have gotten here without all of you. In 2 short years, this platform went from 0 to a thriving ecosystem of partners fueling success stories from all over the world. But it still feels like it's early, and we have so much more work to do together to tap into the full potential of the platform we've built together. So let me commit once more to you that we're fully invested in the Messenger platform, that we will continue listening to your feedback, we will continue making it better so that you can be more successful on our platform. We have 6 sessions for you this year, more than ever, so please make sure to check them out. We also have an awesome booth where you'll be able to try these experiences for the first time hands-on, and we'll have surprises for you there. And now I'll pass it on to Ime. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? We still got the energy going? All right. Well, my name is Ime Archibong, and for the last 8 years, I've been part of the partnerships organization here at Facebook. And across many of those years, I've got the opportunity to work, just like Mark, many of you out here, and probably have met more developers than I could even count. But the thing that's actually fairly special and unique about it is that I remember a lot of you, and I remember many of your guys' stories. That's mainly because they've been unique, and our journey together has been unique in itself. The very first developer that I had the opportunity to work with when I started at this company was a relative unknown. It's a 30-person European startup with a few thousand users. Now, over our journey and over working with them, there were plenty of ups, there were plenty of downs, but through it all, we remained committed to a couple of different things. One, this idea and this notion that building together was actually the most powerful thing that we could do. And 2 was this vision that it's a more personalized and social future that we wanted to work towards together. Now, we're on similar journeys with many of you, which is a beautiful thing right now. I just wanted to thank you. I don't think you've heard thank you enough. We'll say it again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because recent events and the ever more urgent need to protect people's data has required us all to evolve and to change our products, which we know can be disruptive. And as we reopen the app review process, we've moved more and more of our APIs behind that process. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is taking a higher level of expectations when we look at your applications that you submit to the Facebook platform. Now, I quickly wanted to mention that our goal here isn't to be difficult. It's truly to ensure that the extremely small percentage of bad actors that are out there aren't ruining this platform for the vast majority of you who are good actors, who are doing good, and are thriving on our platform right now. Now, I know this is going to be harder work on both ends of us, but I think that it's truly worth it. This new level of intention and care is going to be important, and an important kind of, it's going to be an important piece of the thing that we're doing moving forward. So again, I'll say it again, thank you. Thank you for being a partner and ensuring that what we build together is truly not only social, but is also safe. Now, on our end, one of the things that we're going to commit to is ensuring that we continue to build value for people, and that ultimately we're giving people transparency and control over what they're actually sharing with developers and how their data is being used. In order to continue to invest in you guys and continue working with you guys moving forward, we're going to talk about how we're investing in what I call the 5 Ps: programs, people, places, prizes, and products. Or Peter Piper picked up. No, I'm just playing. So let's start with people. First, we're going to invest in our global footprint of partnerships teams and operations teams that get the opportunity to work with you. But we know that as we evolve this platform and things change, that this is not enough. So we're going to continue to expand our developer programs. FB Start, which started on this stage about 5 years ago, focused on small, medium-sized, mobile-focused startups. But over the course of the last 5 years, it's expanded to support all developer-enabled startups that are using Facebook. And more recently, launched an acceleration program aimed at large-scale startups that are looking to scale. Developer Circles, which we talked about last year and announced last year. Our community of global developers who are here. All right? Last year, we launched with about 10,000 startups, or sorry, 10,000 developers as part of this community. And a little over a year and 12 months given to the good work that you guys have probably done, it's 10x'd. And it's grown into a vibrant community of over 100,000 developers around the world. 70 cities today are hosting Developer Circle F8 viewing parties, which is impressive to me because clearly many of the leads have actually flown all the way here to California to be with us today, so I thank you. I also want to say that we're going to continue investing in you guys because what you're doing and the impact you're having is truly global. Which brings me to the next area of investment that we're focused on. Over the last year, Facebook has formally supported over 15 tech hubs around the world in countries like India, Brazil, France, and Nigeria. So beyond some operational support, our support for them has shown up in ways of building accelerator programs, incubator programs, build virtual reality labs, running workshops for developers. We're doing all of this because it's our strong belief that the future of technology, the future of our industry is not going to be built here solely in California, and we want to be out there building around the world with you. Next, we're going to start putting our money where our mouth is and create more prize-based competitions to spur innovation around the world. So last year I got up on stage and I said that society's biggest opportunities and challenges weren't going to be solved by any one person, any one individual, or any one company, that we had to figure out ways to build together, to invest in one another, to multiply each other's impact, if you remember. This year I want to make sure that we're not just talking about it. So we're bringing back the hack. As rumor has it, the name F8 was actually derived from the early day hackathons that we had at Facebook, where someone would go from all the way of an idea to a prototype in about 8 hours. So what we're trying to do is create a space here today for everyone to do the same. Take an idea and try to go all the way to prototype with some of the new tools that you heard launched earlier and some of our old developer tools. So there's a room just on the other side of this venue where you have tables, you have desks, you have connectivity, probably some beanbag chairs, some late night food, kind of all the good ingredients that you need to make that good hackathon smell. You know what I'm talking about? Right, okay, perfect. And our hope is that hundreds of you find your way over to that room and you build. You build through the night, and you come back tomorrow, and you present your prototypes and your ideas for the chance at a cash prize. Now, for anyone who isn't here today, we're also going to kick off a hackathon online tomorrow that will run for the next 3 months. It'll be located at this developer communitieschallenge.devpost.com website. Say that a couple times fast. Now, what makes this particular hackathon actually exciting for me is that in addition to the developer community that we have here, in addition to folks that have shown up, we also have dozens of community leaders from around the world participating. And this is special. We think that by bringing together these two different sets of builders into one, sharing ideas, sharing the challenges that they're facing, figuring out how to make and forge paths forward, that you ultimately generate ideas, you build products, you build tools, and you build services that give people around the world the power to build community. And like we say with our mission, bring the world ultimately closer together. And lastly, as you've already heard from everyone who was on stage before me, we continue to invest in a heavy way in all the different products across our family of apps and services to ensure that we can continue building together. Now, there's a lot of them, but you'll find most of them located here, hopefully neatly, at our new, really designed developer website. In a second here, I'm going to get off the stage. I'm going to turn it over to both Rachel and Hugo to talk a little bit more about that last one, VR, up there. But before I go, I actually wanted to quickly say something to the crew that's here. It's been about 11 years since we started this developer platform, but I truly believe that our journey in building together has just begun. You saw all the exciting things that were announced here on stage today, and all the exciting tools that have been around for a while. And I ultimately believe that our ability to collaborate together, to build together, is really just beginning, and our ability to affect the world together is just beginning. If you remember that 30-person startup that I was talking about and mentioned a little bit earlier, well, over the course of their journey, they've gone on to create over 3,000 jobs around the globe, and also changed the music listening and discovery experience for over 150 million people around the globe. Now, you don't have to go public to have impact. I don't believe that, and I know you guys don't believe that. In fact, I'm inspired by Buenos Aires Developer Circle member Celeste Medina, who's the CEO of an IT firm that both trains and places women in companies around Argentina. They are doing the successful work right now to close the gender gap in our industry. I'm also impressed, yes, give it up. I'm also impressed by a developer, our FB Start member, Nadia Patel Ganji, who started a buy and sell group on Facebook, grew it to tens of thousands of people over time, and then successfully turned that into an e-commerce business, which is solely focused right now on giving financial inclusion to women across Pakistan. Impressive and inspiring. And last but not least, Eugene Ba and Tope Alabi, who are two members of our Oakland Developer Circles community. They took the skills that they learned in their circle to not only build a technology business for themselves, but then in turn went back and gave to the community. They went around building technology and messenger bots for a lot of the small and local SMBs in their community that didn't have access to those tech tools nor those tech teams. Folks, that's why we build, to strengthen our communities, to strengthen the world, and it's why I continue to be extremely optimistic and excited about this journey and building that we're on together. So now here to tell you a bit more about virtual reality and how that fits into things, Hugo Barra, head of Oculus. Thank you.
And good morning. When I was really young, and before I had even learned to ride a bicycle, my father took me to a very special place deep in the south of Brazil on the border of Paraguay. It's a place called Itaipu. Back then, it was the largest hydroelectric dam in the world. It was like nothing I'd ever seen. And walking around the place made me feel ecstatic about what we as people can build. It was the very first time in my life, as far back as I can remember, that made me want to be an engineer. Today, I can go there in VR. A developer in Brazil built a VR-guided tour of Itaipu that completely transports you there. But back then, I was only able to have this experience because my dad and I traveled together for a whole day in order to get there. Well, here at Oculus, we're building the platform to give anyone this power to defy distance. This is our mission. Defying distance to us means giving you the power to explore the world and to broaden your horizons with the people you care about. To deliver on this mission, we need to build hardware, software, and an entire developer ecosystem. And we need to put VR into the hands of more people. And that is why I'm so excited about Oculus Go and excited that you're all getting one this week at FA. Yes. Oculus Go is our first standalone all-in-one VR headset, which means you don't need to connect it to a phone or a PC. It's lightweight, portable, and easy to bring with you anywhere. And at $199, we're making VR more approachable and more accessible than it's ever been. An amazing combination of price and performance that we achieved by working closely with our partners, Xiaomi and Qualcomm. Now, If we want to get VR into the hands of more people, we have to build products that can be used by anyone. So we've been very intentional in designing Oculus Go to be comfortable and easy to use for a really wide range of people. The fabric inside the headset is soft and really breathable. It's based on technology we brought from the sports apparel industry. And the head straps are very soft and flexible. We designed them to fit any hairstyle really comfortably. And I'm excited to say Oculus Go ships with the best lenses we've ever built and a display panel with 42% higher resolution than Oculus Rift. The result of all this is a much clearer and more realistic visual experience in VR. We also designed an integrated audio system to deliver great immersive sound without requiring headphones. The speakers are built into the headset, and they deliver sound directly to your ears via an air channel inside the strap system. It's a really cool design. Now, add this all up. The soft fabric, the flexible head straps, the amazing optics, and the integrated audio system, and what you get is an extremely comfortable headset that makes it possible to get into VR in literally seconds. Do you all want to see how easy it is? Yes? Okay. Boom, I'm in VR. That was like 1.5 seconds, maybe. The cool thing is that the display fires up as soon as I put on the headset. So I'm in VR right away. It is great. Thank you, Steve. Does my hair look okay? Yeah? All right, thank you. Okay. All right, well, all of this awesome hardware completely fades away once you're in VR. And this is Oculus Home, your gateway into VR the second you put on the headset. And today, the Oculus Go store is launching with over 1,000 VR apps, games, and experiences. Yeah. And with Oculus Go, we're introducing 3 flagship experiences for social entertainment in VR. A brand new version of Oculus Rooms and 2 entirely new social apps, Oculus TV and Oculus Venues. Let's start with Oculus TV, which is, simply put, a totally new way to watch TV. You get this ginormous virtual TV in your living room that's equivalent to a 180-inch screen in reality. And it works just like the best smart TVs out there. Use the controller to change channels, navigate around, and choose between live and on-demand content. And starting this summer, you'll be able to invite friends, cousins, and grandparents to have a watch party in VR wherever they are in the world. Oculus TV launches this month, and we're adding tons of great content partners over the next few months, including ESPN, Netflix, Hulu, and Showtime. Thank you. Another awesome way to spend quality time with friends in VR is Oculus Rooms. And today we're launching a totally new version of Oculus Rooms that gives you even more fun things to do with your friends in VR. We've built a new environment that is even more inviting with things we know people love to do together. You can watch 3D movies or listen to music while hanging out and playing a board game together. And speaking of board games, we're excited to announce a new partnership with Hasbro to bring some of the world's most popular board games to Oculus rooms. We're starting with Boggle, which goes live this month, and soon also Monopoly and Trivial Pursuit experiences. These are super fun games that people love and that you can now play with your friends in VR and feel like you're there together. Thank you. All right. Next is Oculus Venues, which is going to be your ticket to live social events in VR, like concerts, sports, comedy nights, and movie screenings. Check this out. You get to sit in this awesome VR amphitheater with thousands of people and watch premium events together, like soccer, live in 180 degrees. You can see and hear the crowd and really feel the energy in the room. It is great. And the summer session in Oculus Venues kicks off with our first event, a live concert from Vance Joy on May 30th. We have a great lineup of live event partners coming to Oculus Venues, live concerts from AEG, live games from the MLB and the NBA, movie screenings from Lionsgate, plus comedy nights and tons of entertainment from Next VR. And that's Oculus Go. For $199, you get access to over 1,000 apps and games, tons of experiences to broaden your horizons, and some of the most exciting social entertainment today. We're also launching a version of Oculus Go with double the storage memory, 64 gigabytes for $249. You can order Oculus Go right now at oculus.com in 23 countries around the world, and in North America, also on Amazon, Best Buy, and Newegg, with more retailers worldwide coming this summer, and a version for the China market with our partner, Xiaomi. Now, thank you. It is my honor to introduce a phenomenal Facebook colleague who's going to talk about the amazing work we're doing to connect people in and beyond VR. Please welcome Rachel Franklin.
Thanks, Hugo. You just saw how we're bringing VR to everyone with the most accessible headset yet. We're also making immersive technology social from the start, because virtual reality and augmented reality can help connect us in meaningful ways, even when we're not in a headset. That's where the Facebook platform comes in. Facebook is where people come together and share, and where we create communities around the world. With new formats that spring from new technologies, we'll be able to share the moments of our lives in even richer ways. Our connections to people will deepen. We're working with developers like you to create a new generation of media that can express the power of moments, big or small, and make sharing those moments seamless within and beyond VR for everyone. I want to talk about 3 ways we're doing this: by creating, by capturing, and by making it possible to remember the moments that matter most to us in new ways. So first, let's talk about creating moments. We're doing this with interactive 3D posts on Facebook. So my friend Jen just moved into her new house, and as a housewarming present, I bought her this fancy new mixer. The company that makes it used our 3D sharing API, so before it even arrives, I can send her a 3D preview of the gift on Facebook. It shows up in her newsfeed for her friends to admire from every angle. But it's more than just a post. With one tap, you can bring a 3D object into Facebook Camera using our AR technology. This means you can grab a 3D object right out of newsfeed and bring it straight into your world. And it's launching next month. So this means Jen can see how the mixer's going to look in her new kitchen, and I can see if I want one for myself. Moving objects into VR takes this experience to an even more immersive and meaningful level. So because Jen lives 2 states away, my post actually created a moment for us together. It reminded us how much we miss each other. So we decided to get together in VR, in Facebook Spaces, with a simple 360 photo of her kitchen and that 3D mixer object. The virtual Jen can give me a tour. So we're already seeing the start of an entirely new way to share with 3D media. But what if you don't have 3D modeling software, and you want immersive experiences based on your own special moments? Well, you only have to wait a few months. This summer, we're rolling out 3D photos. You simply take a picture with your smartphone and upload it to Facebook as a 3D photo. So here are Jen's kids baking and making slime, because slime's a real trend right now. You can see how they pop off the screen. It's like a memory is coming alive. I almost feel like I'm in that kitchen with them because Jen's really captured the moment. So you've seen how you can create immersive experiences, and you can capture them, but we can go a step further to help you remember them. Looking back at important times in our lives is already a favorite thing to do on Facebook. But what about going back and feeling those feelings again? Earlier, Mark showed you a sneak peek at a demo that our team is working on, but I want to give you a closer look. We all have these albums of our memories on Facebook. Imagine taking these 2D photos and videos, and with the magic of AI, reconstructing a place and a moment that's important to you. So what you're seeing is a 3D environment built with point cloud reconstruction from flat videos. You pop on a VR headset, and you're there again, walking around, looking around corners, seeing the places where your memories happened. Maybe it's in your childhood home. It's like a Facebook album that has come to life. And most magical of all, you'll be able to go into these moments together with the people you care about. This is the kind of entirely new experience we can have in the future as immersive formats evolve. This is how we can get back to moments that matter to us and the people we care about. This is why we build. We believe our vision today will be the foundation for the tools that you build with tomorrow. And I'm glad we're on this journey together, because together we'll put people at the center of how we design technology to create the experiences that people will naturally want to share. That's what matters to us at Facebook, making technology social from the start. So let's do this. Let's keep building together. There's never been a more important time for it.